What up, Bulls Nation? Peck here. We've got a live CHGO Bulls coming up for y'all right around the corner. We roll along today with more player evaluations for the Bulls 24-25 season. We're talking the big man, Mr. Double-Double, Vooch, giving him his grades for the season. And first, we'll take a look at all the action from last night's NBA playoffs. Next. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls podcast. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I am Peck, Bulls_Peck. That is Big Dave. Bam, bam. BAWL Sports. Will, the Gottlieb. Some call him the GOAT. Perfectly coiffed always.
I call him the.
Just the. Will_Gottlieb. Queen of the controls. I want to know Katie W. What up, Katie?
Hi.
Dave just asked a good question regarding the thumbnail for today's episode. What is an E on a report card?
So number one, I didn't make that image.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think it's like they've taken away F's and they just added E's.
I don't think it's that. I think it's maybe
when I was coming up, we didn't do F's at like my grade school. They did U's for like unsatisfactory.
You know what? Why? I'm just going to Google it. Give me 2 seconds.
I just did. An E on a report card typically signifies either excellent or exemplary performance or a failing grade, depending on the school or district's grading system.
See, in that image.
Kids are just thrown off.
That sounds like a mixed message.
It can also represent a needs improvement or unsatisfactory performance. Okay, so the letter E can just mean anything.
Okay, wait.
Let's see
if we can get it.
Can I want to ask a question on this show that
okay, because it's A pluses, so you would think that means exemplary when you put it with the A plus.
Well, also the word achievement is above A plus, but then we can't. The image cuts off, so we don't see if there is a word above all of the E's over there.
But see, I'm going to take it as failure Rob, because it's pass fail, so I'm going to take that A plus is pass and those E's is fail.
Rob, that is not AI generated, by the way. It's a stock photo that a real person took. I am just not the real person who took it.
Not everything is AI now, people.
I do want to ask this question.
You said you have a question?
And I'm a little surprised we haven't discussed this yet. 100 men versus a gorilla.
Dave, I was just about to put the poll. I was just about to put the poll in the comments.
Why is every other tweet in my feed over the last couple of days something regarding...
Because it's the question of the year right now. Who wins? 100 men versus a gorilla. Who wins?
Are the men armed with human-made tools?
Are they? No.
Because then humans by a mile. It's over in a half a second.
No, they aren't. They aren't armed with human-made tools. Just 100 men with a lot of, ferocity and force and vigor.
There has to be a real game plan going into this.
Okay.
Where you're going to have to sacrifice some lives.
Yeah. Oh, people are going to die. Yeah.
And we are in a world where everything is so polarized. I don't know that they could really come together and execute on a plan like that.
I agree. I 100% agree with you on that.
Because, you can't even get to a silverback gorilla. Those things are.
You'll lose that battle.
I just don't see it.
Yeah, gorillas winning, man.
I'm 100 men. I would still probably lean man over gorilla if it was like 25.
Really?
Humanity has done one thing excellently for all of time, and that is kill other animals.
Yeah, but they do that with
tools.
With tools. What is your measly little fist going to do against a gorilla?
First of all, measly little fist, excuse me? I don't have Uncle Will paws, but I do have some big-ass hands, Katie.
No.
Although I am a peacekeeper. I never throw these big-ass hands.
Yes.
I just use them to wave at people.
Use them for love.
But no, yeah, of course it's man.
I'm going gorilla on this one, man. Like a silverback gorilla, bro. Like as soon as y'all step in the arena, it's a wrap. As soon as you see him dismember like 5 people in a row, the other 5 are going to try to run, and it's going to be over
it's
by
not
the end.
one man versus the gorilla at a time, right?
No, I know, not at a
like
time. 100 swarm.
Yeah,
100 swarm. I don't know, man.
But
That
what are they
silverback,
doing?
dog.
Like, even in a swarm, what are they doing?
So you would have to have some real like experts. I'm saying as far as fighting is
Are
concerned.
these just like human pawns, or are they like
So
skilled
you use
hand-to-hand combat artists?
You use
Like
some
foot soldiers.
and their weight
Yeah.
to just subdue the animal,
Okay.
and then one or two to get some jabs in on some vital organs, and it's game over.
All right, you can be on the front line for that one, Matt.
Silverback gorilla? Oh man, I
Hey.
can't see it.
Because that's the thing.
Think
Like,
about the bite
If it
force.
bleeds, we
it's
can kill it.
like, this is a volunteer thing, it's
Yeah.
not like these guys are being forced to do this. So after
Yeah.
they see one dude die, they're all gonna run.
That's how I think, and the way they die, it's gonna be really ridiculous, man. Like I don't know. I appreciate you, Matt. This is why you'll always be on my team, no matter what. It's because we coming to win, no matter what.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
yeah.
But damn,
I got nothing against gorillas. I'm
yeah,
just
no,
saying.
nothing against it, but damn, dog, that a silver man,
How many species are extinct because of man?
a lot,
Pick man.
including other men.
Yeah.
Including other man species. Yes, correct. So yeah, I hear you, but again, that's with weapons. Like a one-on-one battle against an elephant. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know about that one.
Shout out to Brazil Popular in the comments who said Steven Adams would just carry the gorilla out the court.
That's a fact.
They still talk about this. I heard them talking about it on a playoff game, and I got so angry. I got so upset.
Is it
Was
100
Tony
Steven
Bradley
Adams?
mentioned specifically?
Yeah, they forgot his name. They
course
were
they
like,
did.
I remember him carrying a guy off the court. Well, for the Bulls, it was Stan Van Gundy. That's who it was. He
Oh,
was like,
man.
what was the guy's name? And then they said it in his earpiece. He's like, Tony Bradley. Yeah. And I was like, turn the channel. I don't want to hear about this no more. Forever. We're going to have to hear from that, man. And that's who you think is going to beat on the silverback? Because for every Steven Adams, it's a Tony Bradley, bro.
Right. So if Tony Bradley is one of the men, then I pick gorilla.
What about 100 Steven Adams?
Oh, yeah. 100
You got
Steven
that
Adams.
one?
You buy- I picked it before it was Steven Adams.
Okay.
I think it does play into it. Like, who are the men?
Okay.
Do you get to pick them? Are they just random? Like, who is it? Because if it's just random dudes, it's the gorilla. But if I can handpick them,
Yeah.
it might be different.
Actually, that's a good poll. 100 men versus Benny the Bull. that's something for Twitter right there.
I might pick Benny on that.
I might pick Benny on that
Because
too.
as we all know, Benny is a domestic terrorist.
He is according to John
He
Sabine.
framed
Yes.
the Unabomber. That is a violent, dangerous person.
Look under the hood.
Or bull.
Benny is my arch nemesis.
This is true, man. He's got several. Like any superhero, he's got
We
several.
just
He's a
have
terrorist.
We just have a feud.
He's cool with me though. But
Sure.
Sabine,
He's never-
him, yeah.
He's never thrown popcorn on you.
It's true. He hasn't, but we look in each other's eyes and he knows. Like, hey, bro,
Don't you dare.
don't do that. No, don't do that.
Well, so turning our attention to the NBA playoffs after
feel
that
better.
riveting conversation.
I've been wondering that conversation for like 2 days. Like,
Who would 100 gorillas or one James Johnson? Because we got some dust up action at the end of that Bucks Pacers game
Yeah.
last night.
I'm sorry to pivot back to this, but we
Sure.
ignored the best one.
Sure.
It's beef stew.
beef stew?
Beef stew versus one gorilla. Like, I think I
Ooh.
might dig beef stew on that. Anyway, sorry.
But I'm taking
Dalen
James Johnson
Terry.
over beef stew though.
It's true.
That's all I have to say.
Dalen Terry. He's right.
Dalen Terry did try to fight beef stew this season.
That's true.
That was fun.
That's true. He ain't scared.
But yeah, guys. So the Bucks go home in the first round for the third straight year.
Okay.
Obviously, losing Dame was a devastating blow.
Yeah.
With his torn Achilles, we don't know what the future holds for Dame's NBA career. But in the meantime, the Pacers took one more last desperation fight from the Bucks. Gary Trent Jr. went off
Went crazy.
in the fourth quarter and overtime. And I think he hit 8 threes between the fourth quarter and OT last night. But then also, like from goat to goat, just a horrible, costly turnover that gives the Pacers the final possession of OT.
Yeah.
The Bucks, Halliburton crosses over Giannis. There's no help. Lays up a bucket for the game winner. But then even more chaos ensued after that because we got like Giannis going like forehead to forehead with Halliburton's dad after the game on the court.
Yeah.
Look, people are talking about if like Bucks Pacers is going to become like a real rivalry in the Eastern Conference for years to come. They've gotten into it. Obviously, Central Division foes, so they see each other a million times a year in the regular season, and have now matched up a couple of times over the last two postseasons.
Yeah.
I'm for it. Anytime we get real NBA rivalry kind of stuff that harkens back to our youth, Dave, I'm always for it.
Yeah.
What did you make of this weird little saga between Giannis and Halliburton's dad last night?
I'm glad you brought up the divisions because I don't think people talk about divisions anymore.
Almost not at all.
And I think they still kind of matter to this point right here. There's only one team in the Central Division who finished under 500. There's only one team in the Central Division who did not make the playoffs. 39-43. Yeah, I'll let you figure that out. But, yeah, seeing that kind of stuff because you know you're going to face those guys a bunch of times and you don't stay far from where they stay. Like, you're going to be looking at those guys often. Like, it matters. And what did I think of it? I mean, I thought his father was wrong. Tyrese Halliburton's father was absolutely 100% wrong. I like how Giannis spoke about it afterward very eloquently, as he usually does when he's on the microphone. I love how he spoke about it. Basically told him, hey, I'm a grown-ass man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, you don't just be running up on me like that. What he was doing, what Giannis was doing, speaking to him and Meredith, was some real grown man disrespectful stuff, but very nice. Like putting your forehead on mine and yelling me in your face is letting you know, hey, dog, I will stomp you. Grabbing you by the back of your head like this, you know what I'm saying, and talking to you like you're a child, lets you know, hey, dog, I will stomp you. You know what I mean? That is stuff you don't do to other grown men. But you saw the father when he did that, it was like, huh? Oh, this is real now. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're gigantic.
I'm tripping. I appreciate Tyrese Halliburton also saying it too about his father being incorrect. He did kind of lean into the villainous nature and role of it too. I like that as well. But yeah, I thought that's the bottom line of it for me. I thought the father was incorrect, and I thought Giannis handled it perfectly. And I wonder if the league is going to take any action.
Halliburton's dad did issue an apology on his social media account. I saw today. So good for him.
Yeah, no, I agree with that take, Dave. I feel like when you are just like, you get caught up in the moment and then sometimes you're like going down a path that you didn't ever want to go down, but you're just like already down it. And like, so I feel like you could just watching the clip, you could see Halliburton's dad like realize what was happening like a step after it happened.
Yes, correct.
And like, all of a sudden, he was just like in Giannis's face. And like you said, I mean, Giannis handled it in retrospect or like, what he talked about it as best he could. I appreciated Halliburton saying that like his dad put him in a rough spot and that he was in the wrong. And that's kind of it for me. Like, I think you just wash your hands of it and move on. It was kind of a unfortunate moment. Not a great look for anybody involved, but it is what it is.
Do you think any action should be taken by the league against Tyrese's father?
I mean, I think maybe some sort of official like warning.
Okay.
Just as far as like, and like, I was catching some of the TNT crew talking about it, and I agreed with what Chuck was saying, which is like, dude, why are you on the court? Like, yes, you're the father of the star player, but like,
go on the court
you are still a fan.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to be out there.
Yeah.
And it's like, it wasn't like a college basketball storming the court moment at the end. Halliburton's dad was not the only person that was out there on the court as that game reached its conclusion. But even still, it's just like it's an interesting slug. It's like the same thing as was it the Knicks postseason games last year when it was like Starks and a couple other people who
driving
were like,
me crazy, like
on the baseline, but like flirting with going from being on the baseline to being on the court.
Yeah, man.
Like, dude, are you a player?
Right.
No,
sit down.
Get out of here.
Right.
Sit down.
I hated it so much. You shouldn't. The camera people are your line of defense.
Yeah.
If you're over them or next to them, you're doing way too much.
Right. And that's like for not only like safety, but just like health. Like guys can get hurt if there are people that they don't see coming out of the court and they're like running back or something like in the heat of a game.
Yeah.
They like fall backwards over someone and twist their whatever. Like it's just dangerous. Like the court, I think, is a defined space. I don't know. Was he sitting courtside? I couldn't tell from.
He was on one of those baseline under the basket.
But was he on the court or like?
I think he was on the court.
Yes.
You just. Yeah, stay off the court.
Stay off the court. Real quick before we go to break, the other two East series, obviously the Celtics dispatch the Magic, a 30-point win, no surprise there. Pistons held off the Knicks in a close one late. I am excited that goes to a Game 6. Yeah. Would love nothing more than see the Pistons go back home to Detroit for Game 6 and force a Game 7.
Love it.
And then Jamal Murray, 43 points.
They needed it.
On a just pivotal Game 5 win for the Nuggets.
Huge.
Can't wait for Game 6 of that one.
Yeah.
And tonight we got Rockets-Warriors Game 5. Winner go home for the Rockets. Lakers-Wolves Game 5. Winner go home for LeBron, Luka, and the Lakers. Epic NBA playoffs on deck. Let's knock out some ads. When we come back, we're going to dive into our grades for one Nikola Vucevic this season. He had a freaking monster season. We'll talk about it next. Hit the like button.
Gorilla.
Much like these NBA playoff teams benefit from home court advantage, your team needs a home floor advantage.
Slick.
And our friends at Empire Today can help you get it. Empire has flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. You've probably been to one of those big box stores, wandering around endlessly through a zillion aisles, and somehow you're hauling all the materials home, looking for an installer, coordinating everything yourself. Who wants to do that? Even just saying that sentence left me exhausted and frustrated. Those big box stores might have a flooring department, but the person helping you in that flooring department is no flooring professional. They were probably arranging flowers in the garden out in the parking lot yesterday. That we know Biff loves flowers, Dave.
He enjoys it.
He's a green thumb, but he's not a flooring thumb. No. The Empire people, all flooring thumbs. All of their digits. It's nothing but thumbs, and they're all flooring thumbs. Empire lives and breathes flooring, and they'll be with you every step of the way. It's a whole different ballgame. Their flooring experts bring the showroom right to you in your home. Pick the right flooring and the right colors for your space. See how it looks with your furniture in your house. Get precise measurements taken and have all your questions answered. There are no surprises. With Empire Today, you get clear, upfront, and all-inclusive pricing. Plus, you can schedule installation as soon as next day.
What?
As in, hey, if you call up Empire Today, that's Wednesday. They can be in your home helping you out installing on Thursday. What? Yeah. So what are you waiting for? Schedule a free estimate today, because some things are just better at home. CHGO listeners can receive a $350 discount. That's right, $350 when you use promo code CHGO. Yes, you heard that right. $350 discount with promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday.com/CHGO for details. 588-2300. Get it!
Empire Today.
Hey. That's what she meant in her heart.
Yeah.
Because she also knows she got to get her money right and get it tight. And she can only do that with Monarch money. Finances can be messy and confusing, ladies and gentlemen. Monarch Money acts like your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control so you can stop earning and start growing. There's a difference, ladies and gents. It's more than your average budgeting app. Monarch Money is a complete financial command center for all your accounts, investments, and your goals. Don't just manage your money. No. Start building wealth. Hello. With 50% off your first year for our listeners. I love Monarch Money personally. It has definitely helped me out. It has increased my financial literacy, and I kind of know what I'm talking about and looking at when I'm doing things now. And it's allowing me to set goals, allowing me to actually have a budget, and stuff you know what I'm saying, will be proud of me for. Monarch Money is actually helping me do these things, and I really appreciate that. Thank you, Goat. I appreciate that. Start managing your finances to build the life you actually want. Monarch makes managing money simple, even for those with busy lives. With all your accounts, credit cards, and your investments all in one place, you'll always know where your money stands without a hassle. Monarch Money is the finance tool people actually love. As I just told you. Well, how do I know I'm going to love it, Dave? Because it is named Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025. Not 4, 5. The top recommended personal financing app by users and experts with over 30,000 5-star reviews. Get control over your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code CHGO at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with that code CHGO. Go ahead and get your money right and get it tight with Monarch Money. Hey, Katie.
The strangest pronunciation.
I know. It's me.
I liked it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We roll along CHGO Bulls podcast on Wednesday afternoon. Hit that like button if you're hanging out with us on YouTube. Thanks for being here. Make sure you also subscribe to that CHGO Sports YouTube channel. All right, gentlemen, today we are continuing our player evals for the 24-25 season, and we are talking Vooch, a man who had a resurgent season, all-star caliber numbers through most of the year. Once again, a trade rumor name. He stays through the trade deadline and ends up with one of his best seasons, if not his best season, as a Chicago Bull. Before we dive into our offensive grades for Vooch, just a couple of highlights. His 18.5 points per game was the highest scoring average of his career since he was traded midseason to the Bulls in 2020-2021. Shooting splits, 53 from the field, career high. 40.2% behind the arc, career high. 80.5 from the free throw line. Also, when you throw those career highs together, no surprise, he also had a career best mark of 61.1 true shooting percentage. 3.5 assists per game, assist percentage of 17.1. Those were also his highest marks since that 2021 season. 45 double-doubles. Every year he has been a Bull, he has had at least 44. So right there on par doing what he does. And in the 89th percentile of the NBA, a plus 1.4 offensive estimated plus minus. Other than that little lull we talked about after the trade deadline, after the All-Star break, when maybe old man Vooch was tired, a little salty about maybe not getting a trade he was hoping for, whatever it was, he got back in the correct lane and finished strong. And all season long was a consummate pro, veteran on a team that everybody knew wasn't really going to go anywhere this season, meaningful wins-wise, playoffs-wise, but a great teammate, and the dude just produces. We can talk about, we'll talk about his defense in a little while, but offensively and from a veteran leadership standpoint, like what more can you ask of this dude after the season he just had?
You know, let me I was going to say, well, we thought, no, let me talk about me and what I thought. I had Vooch kind of penciled in as having the season that he had previously and the previous season before. I thought it was going to just be one of those seasons. He had shown us over the last few years that the three-point shooting wasn't there, that he wasn't so super engaged.
He was like sub 30% last season.
Correct, man. Like, yes. And it wasn't great the year before. It was cool. Like, it was all right. But he showed us those things, and that's kind of what I was taking him at. Was what I saw was, oh, now you have a whole nother year under your belt and you've played an all 82-game season in the previous season beforehand. Like, I know you play a lot of games, man, but some point in time that's going to wear on you. Like, I didn't expect him to come out, you know what I'm saying, with that full energy and that veracity that we saw him playing with. But damn. And not only was it that, it was super consistent. It was the three-point shot that was hitting that was crazy for me, because when I'm watching it and he's shooting it, I'm like, nope. Clang, nope. Yes, suck it, Dave. That's what you get for that. And he was just absolutely amazing and carrying them to several wins. Like in that first half of the season, we talked about it a lot here. It was Zach LaVine and it was Vooch taking the Bulls to those victories. When he didn't get traded, you saw that lull. Because Vooch is a professional, but Vooch is a slightly emotional guy, just from the outside looking in. This is me saying this. It just feels like he wears his emotions on his sleeve sometimes. And it felt like when he didn't get that trade, it kind of affected his game a little bit more. Now, he had an injury with that as well. You know what I'm saying? That played into it too. But it was like once he got that together and reality set in, and he was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm having a really good year. Let me get back to business and back to work. And it started in that game against the Knicks in Madison Square Garden, along with him and Josh Giddey, because they both balled completely out in that game. And Vooch continued to do so. He looked more like Nikola Vucevic this season than any time I have seen him here at with the Chicago Bulls. Now, there are several factors to that for sure. Some of that is role. Some of that is position. You know, some of that is what's being asked of him. He was not used to being the third or fourth guy option wise. No, he's used to being the one or two. He's not as the defensive stalwart. You can't funnel the defense to him. That wasn't asked of him so much this season. So you saw him a little bit better defensively, as Matt said. We'll get into that. But just overall and in general, just as a player, it was a pleasure to watch him play. It really was. Like, that's the Vooch I fell in love with years ago in Orlando when he was cooking Lowry Marketing. That's when I first started noticing him. We was just cooking that dude left and right. The dipsy dudes and, you know, up and unders and the fadeaways, like all these things he put on full display. this season for the Bulls and did it in a season where I was expecting a decline from him. So, and had his best one, as you mentioned, Matt, here with Chicago. So I am proud of how he played. I hope he is proud of how he played, man. And I have nothing bad to say about him, what he did on that floor.
Yeah, I don't think you really could have asked for much more from him offensively. This was a guy who looked like very much he was on the decline, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this was his age 34 season. He's coming off of 2 years where, he just wasn't really giving you that kind of one of the pillars of your offense kind of production. And he comes in and has his best season with the Bulls by far, and one of his best seasons of his career. He shot over 40% on threes. We thought maybe he's going to get left behind in the fast-paced Bulls offense. No, he was awesome as a trail big, walking into threes, but also attacking closeouts, creating plays, finishing at the rim. Bulls kind of went away from the post-up game where he was really kind of a featured part of this slow it down half-court offense. And even though he wasn't getting those same kind of touches, he made the most of it. And he was hugely successful. I mean, like you guys said, only 7 games missed with injury for that calf down the stretch. And like, aside from a couple of games around that, like, he was just really consistent this whole year. I picked him for the Bulls MVP when we did that.
And most improved player.
And most improved.
We were talking about his numbers from last year.
Because that's just how good he was. And so I'm going to probably say this a couple times in the show. I don't think you could have possibly gotten more from Vooch this year. It was one of his best seasons. He was one of the Bulls' best players. And yeah, he was great.
Yeah. I mean, an 18.5 points per game, double average on the season. And again, he has just been a workhorse since he arrived. This is another season where he played above 70 games, right? Dave, you mentioned the 82 game season he had a couple years ago, but he's always out there and he's always producing. And this season was a huge bounce back for him offensively compared to, and he talks about it in his exit interview last week or whenever that was. I'm just really proud of the fact that after the way I shot the ball last season,
29.4% on threes last year.
Crazy.
40.2%.
11-point jump in his 3-point percentage on a pretty similar volume, right? Like around 4 threes per game.
Well, he played fewer minutes per game this year. So 34.3 minutes per game last year, 31.2 this year. And yet he still scored more than last year. So like, if you look at his per 36 numbers, it's 21 points per 36 compared to 18.9 last year. So he really did improve, not only in terms of his efficiency and you said the 53 field goal percentage was a career high, but doing more with less too. And I think the Bulls offense contributed to that, where they're just generating a ton of possessions. He didn't have to play quite as much, but I just thought he gave you the best with everything that he had and with what the Bulls were trying to do with their offense.
And, that's the other interesting element to this, is because when you talk about the departure of DeMar DeRozan before the season began, and then the departure of Zach LaVine midway through the season, Vooch, you would think, okay, we're going to make this veteran, this former 2-time All-Star, like a more focal part of the, not to necessarily like go away from what we've been doing offensively all season, but like Vooch is Vooch.
Yeah.
He's proven in this league as far as an offensive threat, but he continued to, in the departure of DeMar and the wake of the departure of Zach, continue to just play within the game and play within the Bulls offense the way that was like, hey, this is about Kobe White. This is about Josh Giddey. This is about seeing what this team has with some of these young guys, and Vooch fitting into that. And like you were saying, like doing more with less from a touches standpoint, Goat, I think speaks to not only his malleable character as an NBA talent, but the quality of his character of being a veteran who's earned respect in this league, being on board with that being the case.
Yeah, still being out there and getting double-doubles night after night after night, I think was also impressive to me. Getting 10-plus rebounds often, every single night. I think him not being the focal point on defense definitely helped. You mentioned not playing as many minutes. Obviously, that definitely helped for a veteran. But, man, dude, like what can you say? About it? And the assist as well. Like the way he could find a teammate cutting to the basket or if open for a three-point on the baseline. Like all of that was on full display this year for Nikola.
Yeah, just the ability to fit into what they were doing and do it well, and obviously his passing ability being a big part of that. All right, we'll knock out a couple more quick ads. When we come back, we'll start giving our grades to Vooch, starting with the offensive grades. Hit that like button if you didn't do it the first time around.
Hit the like button.
Oh.
Katie would like you to hit the like
Guys,
button.
do it for you, please. Save yourself. Hit the like button.
She will sick 100 gorillas on you if you don't hit the like button.
She'll do it and smile. And then I have to ask her, Katie, what time is it?
Game time hoot.
Very nice. Very calm and serene. Game Time has a new feature, ladies and gentlemen. It's called Game Time Picks. That makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams easier than ever. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Curation. That's what does it. It makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, whatever you want to watch. If there's a stage or a floor or some grass, you can get it for a ticket with Game Time. Of course, they got the all-in pricing. Of course, they got that lowest price guarantee. Of course, they got that Game Time ticket coverage, which comes with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. But they got the Matt, Peck, and Big Dave fave. That's the views, where we stretching the dogs out at. Are we sitting in the middle? Oh, nope, we're not. Actually, we're going to sit on the end, or then we're going to sit on that end. All right? Where is the beer? We need to find it. Where's behind it? And also, where is the restroom facilities? We need to have a clear path to that. We need to know it. And most importantly, where's the exit? We need to find these things. Guess what? All this stuff you can find out on Game Time. They're awesome. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use that code CHGO. Get yourself $20 off your first purchase.
Terms apply.
I said CHGO. Get yourself $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game Time. Hoot.
Professional.
Well done with the camera work there, Katie.
Today's show also brought to you by Circus Sportsbook. Circa. Whatever the sport, the app to bet is Circa Sports Illinois. And the time of year, the sport is NBA playoffs, y'all. Circa Sports is sports betting the way it should be. Circa Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service.
Hello.
Not ChatGPT, not AI images from our pal C Red Fred. Oh, I'm sorry you're having an issue. Will this picture of cartoon Moses parting a Red Sea help in some fashion? No! Let me speak to a person! Circa has lots of the persons, y'all. Beating hearts.
Oh,
opposable thumbs.
Yes.
Helpful things when you need customer service. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. Spreads, props, futures, even in-game betting. Circa Sports has it for you. So fun and bet like a pro from anytime, anywhere in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 and older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Call it.
I truly fear the day when customer service is nothing but robots.
Are you going to sit like that the rest of the show?
What if I did, Katie?
I don't know. I'm just wondering. Because I'll have to move the camera if you are.
Why? Take the camera off of me?
No, I have to move it way lower. Because, like, here's where we are. I'm going to have to go, like, there.
Well, you get my shoe in there, though.
Fine, I'll sit up.
I mean, no, you could do whatever you want. I'm just wondering. Okay, well, now I lost your head. Thank you.
We are children.
Giving me the digital guillotine over there. Okay. Gentlemen, Vooch grades. Offensively speaking, I did not overthink this one. When I saw what he did from a numbers and efficiency standpoint, put up some of the best numbers, if not the very best numbers of his Bulls career, and did it within, as we were just discussing, the Bulls offense that changed drastically and then had names like Kobe and Josh Giddey leading the way and Vooch fitting into that still. I gave him an A. Katie, if you will. All right, so we got A's across the board for Vooch's offense this season. Go with a little bit of a ding.
Hater.
Give it just such a hater. The biggest hater. Giving him an A-. Goat, care to expound upon that?
I mean, I don't think that there's really much difference in the way that we're talking about him. I mean, he did, like, the reason why I was a little bit more, not that I gave Kobe or Giddey bad grades, I gave them both A's, but, or maybe I gave Giddey B, I don't remember. But they had the, like, inconsistent first half or not up to par, and then, like, explosion second half. I appreciated Vooch's consistency throughout the season. I think that's what some of these younger players need to strive for, is not the hot months, but the consistently good years. So yeah, I mean, I don't have really any criticisms of Vooch's offensive game. I thought he was great, and he played really well for me. I don't view this as like being
so
a bad
so
grade.
the minus wasn't about any particular aspect of his game or his production this year.
It's just like he didn't give you like a superstar season,
right?
So,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Grading on that scale, I see.
I get that. Opposed to the violent hate coming from Will
Oh dear,
he's a joke, y'all. I thought he's
my
great.
feet up after that
Oh,
one.
please. I just
Careful,
thought he was
Katie's gonna
amazing.
yell at you for having your feet up.
He's
The
not slouching.
violent
though.
hate.
He's not slouching. He's sitting tall, man. You
Standing
understand?
on that A-.
That's right. A-,
which I feel very not strong about.
It's all right. Oh, but I just thought it was an easy grade for me. Like, for me, it was a simple layup. Actually, all his grades were easy for me to do this time because it was the best season I've seen him have, as a Chicago Bull. Like, how could I not give him that? And just the effect he had, on winning and just the effect he had on the young guys as well. That was also a question I had. Would he be okay playing with these young guys, and deferring to them? And I still remember the play where I saw Modest go up for a dunk and he got fouled. And the first person jumping out of his chair because he thought he was about to dunk on him was Nikola Vucevic. So seeing him do those kind of things, like, oh, he does rock with these dudes right here. Like, he's okay with these young guys. And I'm sure the encouragement and the things he told them, and helped them along in their game has been really big. Kobe White has definitely talked about it for sure. I would love to hear what Modest and Giddey and Dalen, those guys have to say about it. But yeah, offensively though, man, like the double-double machine, Matt. Like that's what you're going to get. Almost, 25. I'm talking about on a really great night. He can get you like 30 and 20. You know what I'm saying? On a really, really great night and about 5 or 6 assists. And on a bad night, he'll get you 15 and 11. Like, dude, that's an A for me. Like that dude was great. He was great.
Rob in the comments saying Vooch having a good season kind of faded in the background as soon as I saw how much better the Bulls defense was with Zach Collins. Collins ain't even that good of a defensive big. We'll get to the Vooch's defense in a second. But yeah, I mean, I agree in just that. Like it was the best I've seen for Vooch in a Bulls jersey for 4.5 seasons now. Is that right, man? Yeah,
time flies. Yeah.
And he was we mentioned he had a career season behind the arc and a career high overall field goal percentage. He was consistent from all over the floor. Vooch's shot dispersal was pretty similar to what he's done for most of his career. 20. Well, I just lost it. Where did it go?
Come back to him. Damn you, computers.
He took 50. Wow. Okay.
What are you asking about?
So 21.5% of his total field goal attempts came at the rim. He shot those at 69%. 32% of his total field goal attempts came from 3 to 10 feet. He hit those at 56.5%. The Vooch little like pick and pop from the elbow, when he sees that he's open, that little short mid range. 12% of his shots came from there on the floor this season. He knocked those down at above a 50% clip. And then of course the 40.2% beyond the arc did not take nearly any of that long mid range, from 16 feet to the 3-point line. So no worries there. He was just solid all over the floor. And I think earned those A's and A-. All right, so now let us shift to that Rob comment and talk about Vooch's defense. And did I see that we all gave him some C's with some minuses? Dave, you gave him a full C, whereas Go and I gave him some C minuses. This is I didn't see anything particularly better or worse from Vooch's defense this year than just like who we have come to know him as on the defensive end. He averaged 7.6 of his double-digit rebounds per game came on the defensive end, a 25.2 defensive rebounding percentage, 1.2 steal percentage, 2.0 block percentage, pretty just like standard by-the-book stuff from Vooch. His 0.3 defensive estimated plus-minus was basically right around what Josh Giddey's was, like right around where lots of Bulls players were this year. They were not a good defensive team. He is not a good defensive player.
No, he is not. The reason he got the C and not that minus for me is because there were many games where I didn't have to call out his name for a missed assignment or something bad happening defensively for him. Not to say he was great or phenomenal or anything like that, but the main reason of it is what I mentioned was the defense was not being funneled to him so much. So he was more freed up, you know what I'm saying, and allowed to kind of play the Nikola Vucevic kind of way on both ends of the floor. Like, it's get the rebound on the defensive end, you know, for him, and maybe deter a shot or get a steal. I like the way that he helped on double teams on several occasions during the season, but I didn't feel like he got exposed. Like he was getting exposed in those previous seasons when that defense was really, truly being funneled to him, because he's not a defensive guy. Once they stopped doing that and just allow him to start, you know, using his length and his size, which is, you know, allowing him, you know, to block some shots, maybe, you know, tip some balls, you know, maybe get some steals like that. I was like, well, then, yeah, Vooch can be a really cool player, you know what I'm saying, for your team, because you're not asking him to do so much. So nothing really changed about him defensively. It was just that aspect of it just made me take that minus off.
Before we get into the defense, I have an announcement to make.
Okay.
And that is that I was robbed and defamed earlier on in the show when on the grade it said A-. I looked at our conversation with Katie, and indeed I did give Vooch an A on offense.
Wow.
Not an A-.
Katie,
the haters and
Katie's
losers are coming after me. But alas,
I am
the receipts will
sorry.
show that an A was given.
Oh,
So my apologies to Vooch on Katie's
Defend your
behalf.
minus.
defend it.
I'm deeply sorry. That's my bad.
Man.
I was like, I have no good argument to why I gave him an A-. I don't really,
I take back my
but I
comment,
stood on
bro.
it. You know what?
Checking the
Deny.
receipts.
But defensively, yeah. I mean, he's not good. I think it's like, it's similar with Kobe and Giddey, where like at some positions it is more harmful than others. Center is one of those positions where you want more, but like if the Bulls were contending right now and they were trying to make deep playoff runs and Vooch was getting picked on, or if there were games where he had to be pulled off the court in the fourth quarter, like I would have a harder time with it. But it's just like, for where the Bulls are right now and for what you know Vooch is going to give you, I just felt like I didn't want to go below a C-, even though like you could make an argument.
Sure.
So I don't know. I feel like the Bulls were much better defensively in the second half of the year. They were, I think, 7th in defensive rating after All-Star break. Vooch was a part of that. But also Vooch missed some time during that stretch, to be fair.
Yeah.
But like, I think he's a fine defender in scheme. Like, I think he knows where to be. You do have to, like, a big difference in the Bulls defense last year compared to this year was that last year they really sold out to protect Vooch. This time, not as much. They were instead trying to cut down the corner threes. And that put Vooch in a tough spot. And I think he handled it as well as he could have. It's, again, not great. We all know his limitations on that end. He'll be the first to admit it. But I also just didn't want to go too critical there, because I do feel like he performed up to the standard that you would expect of him, understanding those limitations.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Brazil, popular in the comments, pointing out the higher usage of zone. Defense down the stretch may have contributed too. Rob saying, let's be real about Billy Donovan too. He prefers to run a system where the center is not an offensive focal point. Trade Vooch, find a defensive big who is a lob threat offensively. And Rob had previously mentioned, you know, enjoying what he saw from Collins on the defensive end. Just to stat check that real quick. Collins was marginally better from an estimated defensive plus-minus standpoint than Vooch this season. But when I say that, I do mean in the slimmest of margins. Vooch was a minus 0.3. Collins was a minus 0.2. You know, I like Collins' aggression and activity around the basket. You know, I think he's a solid help defender. He does, I think, you know, protect the defensive glass as well as a guy his size can. But that is, you know, the thing about what Billy wants to play on the offensive end versus what your team's defensive liabilities and weaknesses are with Vooch is a fascinating point, because when people have talked about what kind of big would fit in best, assuming that Billy and Giddey and Kobe want to continue playing this fast-paced offensive style, and having a two-way big to complement that, but then also be a rim protector that this team has not had. And that's, you know, why you hear certain names thrown out.
Draft.
Yeah, but see, and then that's the thing, because I look at this 2025 draft class, and the bigs were projected to go top half of the first round, where the Bulls are slotted, whether it be 12th or jumping up in the top 4. I'm not in love with any of these bigs in this draft class. I'm really not. And then you talk about, okay, your options right now are Collins has a year left on his deal, who arrived via trade midseason, and Jalen Smith, who you went out and signed as your lone free agent last summer, who has still 2-3 years left on his deal?
2, I think,
2 more. Yeah.
And like upon Zach Collins arriving, like oftentimes took a back seat in Billy's rotation. That's the guy you went out and signed, and Collins shows up and is like, I can give you these minutes. And it was a back and forth between Collins and Smith, but it seemed like Billy was leaning towards Collins more so down the stretch. Yeah. So now you're talking about, okay, well, we know who Vooch is and who he is not on both sides of the ball, and we know his weaknesses on defense. If you want more of a screen setting, rim rolling, above the rim finishing, and defensive, ace rim protector kind of big, who's younger than Vooch and more athletic than Vooch, like, are Collins or Smith your answer to that question? And if so, if not, then who? Because that's the question you talk about when we say we know who Vooch is, and he's here and he's still here, and why is he still here? What are the other alternatives?
I mean, the reality is, like, there just aren't better options out there that are easily accessible for the Bulls. Like, yes, I understand the desire to have a rim protector out there, but when we talk about Vooch's impact on the offense in the trail spot, walking into threes, attacking closeouts and making plays, like, Clint Capella's not doing that. Yeah. Like those kind of defense, Rudy Gobert's not doing that. That doesn't help the Bulls offense. And what gave the Bulls success was leaning all the way 100% into that style of play. And so when you remove Vooch from that equation, not only do you maybe get marginally better on defense, but you might get exponentially worse on offense because of how dynamic Vooch was. And that's why, like, to me, the overall grade for Vooch, which I know we're not at yet, like, is much higher than whatever demerits you give him from the defense, because the impact overall I thought was so strong based on how the Bulls want to play. And so I think if you are looking at Maluach or Asa Newell, as Swaggy is mentioning in the comments, like, those guys could be good players. I was on with Ricky and Jason last night.
Flex.
Ricky's like big Maluach guy, thinks he's going to be able to shoot. Maybe that's true. Maybe he gets to that point. And certainly a better rim protector. That would be great for the Bulls, but, like, he still doesn't have that playmaking, that facilitation and attacking closeouts and keeping the ball moving side to side. That stuff really underrated and really important for not only the Bulls, but, like, the development of young players to put them in situations to succeed. So to me, I think Vooch's impact goes way beyond whatever his numbers were. He obviously had good numbers this year offensively and not so great ones defensively, but I do think that there is a little bit more to his game and his impact than just what kind of stats did he put up.
And I think that he was allowed not to be, and you guys mentioned rim protector. I think that's what I liked about Vooch, because he's not a rim protector, but he was allowed to be a rim deterrer. And he was allowed to, make guys think twice a little better out there. And that's all you can really ask for, is just use your size. You know what I'm saying? Put your hands up and stop somebody, make somebody think twice about taking that floater or trying to come inside or something like that, especially when they know that you're not that defensive stalwart kind of guy. And I think that's what the Bulls might be looking for more as they go. Maybe they go into this offseason, because you're right. You can't replace what Vooch does offensively, but you can find somebody that could maybe do some nice pick and roll stuff or something, or pick and pop.
But here's the thing about that. Like, I agree that everything's trade-offs, right? Like, if you incorporate Maluach, you're going to have more, half court pick and roll stuff, lob stuff that could really help you. But the trade-off is all the other stuff that we just talked about in terms of the facilitation, the floor spacing. Like, how about the driving lanes for Giddey and Kobe?
Yeah.
You think that's opened up if you have a big man posted at the block? No. Like, Vooch draws those guys away from the rim and allows you to have those driving lanes. Correct. So I think the question is, like, how do you replace that kind of production with that same skill set? But then you have to also answer the question of, like, well, yes, they had some success, but, like, is it really the level of success that we're after? If we are, like, going 100% into this style of play with this kind of center who gives you these kind of limitations, it better really work for you. You better have the success that the Pacers are having right now, getting to the second round of the playoffs or beyond, and not missing the playoffs altogether and losing the play-in for the third straight year. So, like, there's bigger questions than, like, what kind of center do you want in this lineup with this style of play, but more, what kind of style of play are we going to do? And how do we balance these two things without like losing what success that we had going all in on it? Because if you had, moderate amounts of success going all in on something and you pull back 10%, that could unravel the whole thing. You just don't know.
Great point.
The name that I hear a lot from Bulls fans on Twitter and elsewhere, because talking about like, okay, maybe you marginally improve defensively if you swap out Vooch for a more athletic rim protecting big, but then what do you lose on the offensive end? One of the players that I think could fit into the category, and it's why I see his name all over the place from Bulls fans, is Miles Turner.
Yes,
like
that's what I was thinking the whole time.
Like,
he was talking.
You talk about somebody who, as a big, can be a trailer in a fast-paced Billy Donovan offense and space the floor. He shot 39% from three on a career high five attempts and change this season.
Yeah,
and that guy has 2, I think, top 10 finishes in Defensive Player of the Year. He's a 2.2 blocks per game career defensive guy. He had 2 blocks per game this season. He's getting up there. Mm-hmm. He's like 28 now. He'll be 29 next year. But that's one of those few names on the 2025 free agent list.
Yeah.
That's like, he signed a 2-year, $40 deal with the Pacers. And I think you could say in a variety of ways, given where the cap is, has outplayed that.
Oh, without a doubt.
So now it's like, all right, well, if you're the Pacers, you going to let that out the door?
Probably not. But we'll see. That's probably the only reason they were comfortable letting go.
But that is, I think, like Miles Turner is the prototype for like a center who would work with what the Bulls are trying to build.
I think that's exactly right what you said about Jalen Smith being that like Miles Turner light of shoot threes, protect the rim. But then I think the last piece, which I forgot to mention with that whole spiel, was, does it even make that much of a difference? How much better are you getting defensively if you replace Vooch with Malawach, but you still have Kobe and Giddey and Herter out there? Like, I just don't know how much more he's gonna, like a real rim protector, a Rudy Gobert type impact defensively is really gonna change things for a group that is so limited on the perimeter. Cause like that has a big part of it too. It's not just all on the center.
Yeah.
So I think like Turner is the good middle ground where he still gives you a high level 3-point shooting. And, he's not like the same facilitator that Vooch is, but like he can move the ball while still giving you elite rim protection. But like, get in line. I mean, like so many teams are going to be after Miles if he even leaves the Pacers.
But whether it's perimeter or interior, they need to be good at something on the defensive end. So whatever they choose, that's what it has to be. Whether out the threes you guarding or whether it's the inside stuff you're stopping, they got to be better somewhere.
Yeah, get in line.
Get in line, chumps.
Okay, with that, let us move to our meathead grades for the Wiley Vet Center, Nikola Vucevic. All right, we got PTA. Dave, is that in reference to Vooch being a loving and caring father? He's going to all the PTA meetings?
I'm sure he is.
Throughout the season?
I'm sure he's definitely that, but it is not.
Is that abbreviation or acronym still used to talk parent-teacher association, whatever?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yes. As far as I know, it's still used.
None of us are parents, so we'll see.
Yes. No. Shout out to that.
Hey. Thank goodness. PTA.
I'll give you a hint because you would probably understand it more.
I feel like we're all gonna have very similar
ones. It was a movie
ones.
in the 80s.
A movie in the 80s. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Boom.
Boom. Let's go.
Get him out like Vooch. It's all right. You can ride, baby. It's time to go and spread your wings and do your thing out here, man. But it is time. It is time for you to go. I don't want to see you like I saw you when you did not get traded, bro. Like, I don't want to see that look on your face again, man. I don't want to hear that sadness and stuff like that from you, bro. Like, it affected your game a little bit, for a little bit. But you're a professional, so you came back to it for sure. But, yeah, just watching Zach go out the door and you're like, the next in line, they're like, nope, keep going, train. Mm-hmm. You can go ahead. He doesn't need, no, go ahead and take off on the plane. No, you don't need it. No Uber ride. You don't need that right there. No, man, I want the Bulls to go ahead and put you in the situation because it's time to win for your legacy now, bro. Because when you're at the age you are now, it's about winning. It is definitely about your legacy. You won your awards. You've had your all-star games. You've had your incredible 30, 20 games and all that stuff. Now it's about playoff performance. You have not been out the first round in your career, my friend. especially as Orlando Magic guy here to the Bulls. It is time for that, and I hope the Bulls allow you to do that. Plane, train, or automobile, bro.
I can't help but notice the absence of another specific mode
there's
of
a reason.
transportation.
There's a
and
reason.
That was I'm guessing a show of respect.
Yes, it is.
For Vooch.
Yes, it is. No vans.
Is
no
not
vans.
in the title of that epic.
Yep.
Shout out to Steve Martin and John Candy.
Yes.
That epic film.
No
because
vans.
he deserves more than a van.
Yes, he does deserve more than a van. He does not even look at a van. A van won't even show up for Nikola Vucevic, man. Absolutely. He will get some first-class fights, but there's a couple of you other ones I'm looking at.
Yeah, who is going
to get a van up out of here?
Who is first thrown in the van this summer, Dave?
Oh, man.
That's another conversation for another day.
It's a convo for a whole other day. But just know, got a fleet of vans ready for you.
First team all
whole
vans.
fleet ready for you.
Are we are just a few blocks from the United Center, y'all. So the vans are lined up and ready to go.
Up, no windows or nothing, but the engine is pristine because we're going to get you out of here. All right.
Speaking of get you out of here, Brazil, popular in the comments, guessing GOAT is your meathead grade. Thank you, bye.
That's what I said.
TYB.
That's what I said. But he's not as cold-blooded.
It absolutely is.
He is that cold-blooded.
Thank you, bye.
It's not, again,
it's
not a cold-blooded thing.
I know.
Vooch has been awesome with me personally.
Yes.
He is consummate professional, always willing to talk with the media. Sat down with me for 15 minutes to like talk about game film.
Mm-hmm.
He's been awesome. He played awesome. Like, I hope I like gave him enough flowers for the way that he played this year. He was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But he even said it at his end of season press conference. Like, he wants to be here as long as the Bulls are really trying to win. And like, I think he knows, and as we all know, this is not a team that's really set up to try to win anything real anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Vooch deserves that. I think he wants that. And yeah, I think he was great for this team. I think he was kind of a misunderstood player. I get the frustration. The three-point shooting has been way up and way down.
Mm-hmm.
The defense has not been great, but the stability, like I said, with his ability to like help some of the younger guys get better, screening, moving the ball side to side, understanding the game, helping them read, helping Kobe step up into a leadership role. He has been a fantastic Chicago Bull. But yeah, it's time to get him to a home where he can actually compete for a title, which is what he deserves.
That's what I'm saying. Go, be with me. It's time to go, bro.
Well, can't help but notice that you just snuck that shade in there. We know the Bulls aren't going to be contending for anything serious anytime soon.
It's not shade when it's true.
How dare you? AK would beg to differ.
I mean,
although let's be real, AK doesn't beg for anything. AK is just wildly braggadocious about his mediocrity, but AK would take issue. What did you say, Katie?
It depends on what is the definition of meaningful. Like,
Katie,
I just said that was a hater take.
Such a hater take.
Hater take.
All right, my meathead grade one remaining.
You doing all right? You can't. You don't
work here anymore.
Nikola are not gonna be here anymore. Does it have to do with him leaving?
Yeah, in a way.
Your day.
Your days are something.
You had all your. I think that fourth Y is.
You did awesome.
Your.
Is the first Y a U, or a your, or something like that?
It is a something in the you or your family.
You did awesome. You can roll.
Close.
Okay.
You've done all you can.
You've done all you can.
Like you like, and I mean that in a complimentary way,
yes,
it's time for everyone.
Yeah.
To find this dude a new home.
Yeah, man.
What is there left to try with Vooch in this system? He had a great bounce back year.
He did.
He has another year on his deal. I don't know why. Why is he still here? Vooch would probably answer that question with the same question. Why am I still here? Credit to him and his professionalism. Credit to him for having one of the most efficient and productive seasons of his career. Credit to him for always being a 75-plus games played workhorse since he arrived. He's done all he can.
Yeah.
When it comes to helping this team and this organization try to win, I do not think there is anything left in the Vooch tank. And that's not a knock on Vooch. That's it is what it is.
Yeah.
So much of it is like a front office thing.
Yeah.
Right. Like when we talk about all these, like the Giddey one for me, it's like still have questions. That comes from what is the front office doing to invest in him, and like how much are they paying him? I think it's the same with Vooch. Like he could not have been better this year. Like he really gave you everything he could have. He played some of his best basketball. That's why I gave him an A overall, even above, what the combined offense and defense would have been. Even though Katie robbed me of a pure A. But I mean, you just could not have gotten a better season out of Vooch. He was great. But this is like not a situation for, you're like rebuilding around 25 and under, and you've got a 35-year-old center. It's like it just doesn't add up. No. And I think it would be like the Bulls want to be a players first organization. They want to do right by the players. Like it would be a disservice to Vooch to not get him to a situation that is really driven around winning at a high level, not just winning their way through the play-in.
Facts.
That's going to do it for those of you watching on our various streaming services. Thank you for joining us. If you want the bonus coverage, just head to allchgo.com. Shout out to Maddie Legend, who guessed it correctly just about in the comments, saying you did all you could. And I agree.
Good effort.
Jailbreak in the comments saying Vooch has been nothing to complain about much. I'll always appreciate him. So our overall grades, where did we land, Katie? B+, and a firm A. From GOAT.
Tight.
Hater.
Strong.
I mean, I think you can split hairs, but I think all of us would collectively agree. Vooch gave the Bulls everything he could ask for this season.
He did all he could, bro.
He wasn't going to turn into some, defensive ace.
Yeah.
We at this stage of his career, we know who Vooch is and who he is not. Of the range of who Vooch can be in any given season, this is the best version of it we've seen.
It has.
And I'll say, selfishly for me, next year, if Vooch is gone, it will be a worse locker room to cover. He was fantastic with the media, really went out of his way, always professional with us. And like I said, I think he really did a lot in terms of his leadership and buying in. I remember talking with him right before the end of the year about buying back in after, the just drama around the trade deadline and kind of realizing that he had an opportunity to help some of these younger guys get better and be excited about the style of basketball that they were playing. So I thought he was great this year. I thought, obviously the trade was what it was. I feel like that's a separate issue from how he played and more, again, a reflection of the front office. But I think he's been a great Bull. And I think, very similar to like some of the other underappreciated Boozer, Pau Gasol, guys who actually performed at a pretty high level, didn't give you everything that you would have hoped when, the miss was Chris Bosh or the miss was LeBron or whatever. But yeah, he was super solid.
He was awesome. I can't put Pau Gasol on there though.
Pau was
second team
all NBA, baby.
He was awesome.
But I think people were, I don't know. I don't feel like people really appreciated Pau.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
I'll
agree with that. But Katie won.
While he was here, I was like, yo, Bulls fans are not appreciating how good Pau has been.
He was all NBA, right?
Yeah.
All NBA second team.
Katie.
Just a fun fact, because the template that I work from for these grades, the last one in there was Kobe. With the exception of the offensive grade that I robbed Goat on, Matt and Goat had the exact same grades for Kobe and Vooch.
Wow.
Offense, defense, and overall. Obviously not meathead. But Matt, you gave both Kobe and Vooch an A, a C-, and a B+. Goat, you gave both Vooch and Kobe a C- and an A. Just thought that was interesting.
And I think that accurately describes who these guys are. As players, what they do well, what they don't do well.
And I think we've all been really close. I mean, just maybe like a hat, like a minus or a plus off.
Right. So, I think like all of our grades have ranged somewhere between A's and C- so far, save the lone D that Dave gave Giddey for defense, primarily talking about him getting pulled by Billy, late in close games because of his, getting hunted on defense. I did see somebody in the comments a minute ago asking about like, can't wait till we get to Patrick Williams, grades episode. There might be some things below C's in that episode.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm kind of not looking forward to it.
Oh, I kind of am. Let's call a spade a spade. Colin calling in the comments saying Vooch deserves better. I officially apologize to him on behalf of the Bulls organization. Wow, I didn't know you could do that, Colin.
Yeah.
Can you do some things for me on behalf of the Bulls organization?
Jerry boy.
Hey. Swag in the comments saying they might keep Vooch.
I do think they might keep him.
Yeah.
I think more likely than not
he is extension eligible this summer, right, Goat? So
I believe so. Yeah,
he's entering the expiring year of his deal this coming season.
Third year.
I feel like
I wouldn't put it past him. We just saw him re-sign Lonzo.
Hey, man,
I just feel like it would be. I think if you think about it through the lens of Lonzo, that would be like the team trying to get him on a more manageable contract so that they could try to flip him. But if I'm Vooch, like I just don't want to sign with the Bulls again. I want to go pick a team that I can.
Right.
So like a $10 million contract from the Bulls versus a $8 or something million contract from X team that he can really go make an impact on. I feel like that's not really a trade-off that he would be willing to make.
When you compare that to rewinding a couple years ago, we were all sitting here saying no other team in the NBA could or would throw a 3-year 60 offer at Vooch.
True.
The Bulls did.
They did.
I think that is part of the reason why he is still here.
Yeah.
Because the Bulls threw that contract in front of him. And he said, all right, cool. I don't know that it will be the same situation.
Yeah.
If they are going to talk to Vooch about maybe a new deal this summer. Because he also told us at exit interviews, I want to win.
If that's the case, peace.
Planes, trains, and automobiles. Katie, what were the results of our poll before we get out of here? I'm guessing we did not get enough likes for a tank spin today.
Oh, not even close.
Not even close. Hit that like button, y'all.
Miserable.
Gorilla won with 58% of the vote. We got some smart people in the chat.
Which ones are the smart ones?
The people that voted for Gorilla.
For a silverback gorilla.
Well, that's your opinion.
It's the correct opinion.
It's actually the opinion of the people. The people.
58% of the people.
58%. The majority of the people feel, yes, a silverback gorilla would destroy 100 people.
I have never wavered in my confidence in being right about something given the results of a poll.
I'm not trying to waver you. I'm just stating the facts. That's all I'm doing. That's what happened.
Stating the fact of that is the way the voting unfolded.
Yes, correct. That's how it unfolded.
You saw what happened in this country's last election, right?
I did. I definitely did, man. I did.
I was hoping you weren't going to bring that up because that makes my point look really bad.
If you met this man, he wants to be right all the time. He will bring up anything.
To quote the wonderful Tommy Lee Jones in the 90s epic action / comedy Men in Black.
I thought you were going to say Under Siege, but go ahead.
A person is dumb. People are smart, panicky, or are dumb, panicky idiots, and you know it.
Guys, I love Men in Black, by the way. I have seen it.
Wow. Look at Katie.
There's 3,
seeing
right?
a movie from the 90s.
There's
2.
3. There's 3.
There's now 4.
And an international one.
Okay.
With Tessa Thompson, I believe, is the star.
I haven't seen that one.
And the guy from Thor.
One of the Evans brothers.
Yes,
right?
Chris Hemsworth.
Or Hemsworth.
Yes,
There's
Hemsworth.
a new one that, MIB4 is Hemsworth, but Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones are not in it.
They are not in it.
Which is like, that doesn't count.
They're not, but they are making a new one.
I saw 1 through 3 then.
Yes, okay.
All phenomenal.
They're making a new one, though. They are making it. Will Smith said, he's definitely making a new one. They threw the
Smith
check.
Is making another MIB?
Yeah, he said that check. They tossed it at him.
Is Tommy Lee in it?
He didn't say that. He didn't say that part. But I don't see how he's not.
You can't do another MIB with Will Smith, but not also Tommy Lee Jones.
Right, you have to have him.
Also, Tommy Lee Jones get a little.
Well, yeah, I mean, he got to show up in the first part, and then you say, "Oh, something wrong happened to Tommy Lee Jones." Hey, new character.
They can put him back in the U.S. Postal Service office
that
like
was
they do at the
awesome.
beginning of MIB 2.
That was amazing. Shout out Biz Marquis in that scene. That was great.
Excellent cameo.
Yeah, that was great stuff. Stuff.
That's it for today. We are out of time. Thanks for voting in the poll. Thanks for hitting the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to that CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We still got more coming up for y'all later tonight. Cubs back in action again with an evening game. CHGO Cubs will have a post game for y'all after that one. Speaking of which, make sure you also, if you are a Cubs fan, subscribe to that CHGO Cubs channel. So you can find it under those related channels of CHGO Sports on YouTube. Follow Will _Gottlieb. Read his stuff, allchgo.com. Big Days Bow, BWL Sports, on Bulls _Peck. We are CHGO _Bulls. Our queen of the controls is the one and only Katie Duffy. We will see y'all tomorrow. Same time, same place, 4 p.m. Central with another live pod. See you good.
Silverback Gorillas. Wow. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.